I am DEANO. Welcome to some more OverDrift Festival. This is going to be my second video on useful information for the game. From this point forward I'll probably move on to just general things I want to do in the game. But first thing I want to cover is the server browser. The server browser is a pretty self-explanatory thing. You can see the name of the server, the time it remains, the number of drivers or the number of players in the particular server, as well as the season and the time that it's set for. There's also another detail. There's a lock sign. The lock sign pretty much indicates you can only enter that lobby with the password, and that's pretty much the majority of the information. But something significant to keep in mind is the timer. The reason the timer is important is if you don't bank your points before that timer runs out, you'll lose your points. So you need to be very careful about that. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you don't have enough time to get to a cash point before the timer runs out. Because if you have 50,000 credits as an example, you will lose a lot. Like 50,000 credits is a lot in this game, so you don't want to lose that if you can possibly help it. Also, I keep forgetting I've set that up now. So next thing I want to go over is some of the little missions and stuff they have active. So the orange cameras on the map, they are basically bonus points you can take advantage of. If you slide through an orange camera, then the game will essentially just give you an extra few thousand points. And well, who's going to say no to some extra points? The only thing is it seems like you actually do have to be sliding. If you're not sliding, then the game will pretty much just say no. No, I'm not going to give you the points for that. So you do need to be careful about that. Now, I've started a delivery mission up here, so I'm actually going to go and do this delivery because it's pretty much 15,000 credits for driving from one point to another. It's a pretty easy way to make some cash in the game because, well, cash does feel like a finite resource in this game, even though you get it for pretty much doing everything in this game. It does feel very limited at the same time, which is kind of an interesting situation, because I'm going to be honest, when I first started playing this game, I thought the money would be the one thing you wouldn't need to worry about, but because things are fairly expensive, I mean vehicles, so far the most expensive vehicle I've purchased is 80,000 credits, so I mean things aren't cheap. And then the upgrades and stuff for those vehicles, like I think the upgrades cost like 90,000 credits. Well, each, I should say, because there are about 6 upgrades you can do to each car. And well, doing 6 upgrades are 90,000 credits each. It's quite a lot of credits to use that. Well, to do that there. What's that work out? 6 times 540,000 credits, roughly. I mean, if you're not prepared, that can really catch you out. But one thing which will help out a lot with that there is these little missions here, because you can slide around the map as you're doing them. Gradually build up some points that way. I know it's probably not going to seem like very much, but every little bit as far as the credits and stuff go in this game is a help. I mean, an extra 2,000 or 5,000 credits will help you out a decent amount in the future, just because as you're gradually accumulating it, every little bit will make things a little bit more comfortable in the game. But I'm about to make it to the delivery point, and there's the horrendous brakes in the game again. And as soon as I drive into the circle, it'll give me 15,000 credits straight into my bank. And there we go. So I'm up to 107,000 credits now. And I believe the mission should respawn after that. Oh, it actually didn't in this case. Okay, so that previous mission I was at isn't actually there anymore. It's actually moved slightly further away from me. It's interesting, that seems to differ from lobby to lobby. Some lobbies will have the mission icons, like for every single mission area, come up straight away at the very beginning, and they'll always respawn as soon as one's done. The next one will respawn. Whereas others, like this one, don't do that. They're set up in a way that, well, pretty much makes it so that you need to... Oh, thought I overkicked it there. You need to drive across the map to get to the next delivery mission. So that all seems to depend on the server that you're in. So one server could be significantly different to another. But you can see there that that was just a free 1800 points. If I had more points, I think I could have potentially gotten more. I think the highest bonus I've gotten so far from one of those cameras is about 4,500, which is not a small amount. That's still a pretty solid amount of points to get just for, well, driving around. And there's no reason to not go for it when you can, because as long as you bank it, I mean, 2,000 points is another 2,000 credits towards your overall credit total. So there's pretty much no disadvantage to getting those. Another thing that you'll come across is the daily boxes. So the daily boxes are an interesting thing. I'm going to actually see if I can find one here, because I did find one in this area before. They're pretty much just a floating cardboard box looking thing that whenever you drive into it, it will give you credits, or it'll give you fans, or it'll give you likes. So pretty much, if you see them, pick them up, because, well, any of those currencies, getting more of them is useful. I believe I found one over here somewhere earlier today. I wonder if they're in the same place in every... Oh, yep, looks like they are. So if I drive into this one, 1,250 likes. It does seem to give you different currencies depending on which ones you pick up, but they are worth picking up if you do find them, but the problem is finding them. There's 50 of them around the map, and they're not marked in any way, so it's very difficult to actually find them sometimes. I'm actually going to bank these points quickly, because, well, no harm in doing that. And it also gets me enough points, I think, to unlock the final upgrade for this vehicle. Yep, that's the last one. So, yeah, it's going to cost me quite a lot to fully upgrade this vehicle. Probably around 500,000 credits, so I'm going to have to start saving credits in order to be able to do that, because I do like this car. I'm just curious to see what it'll feel like when it's fully upgraded. Now, next thing to talk about is the purple icons, which I'm actually going to skip to because its nearest one's quite a while away. Okay, so I've driven over to the nearest purple icon. I'm going to switch vehicle now, because this one's actually in pretty good health. So I need a vehicle that's a little bit more damaged. That one there is not particularly damaged either. Let's see if I can find one that is a bit more. That's in the 60s. That's not great, but not the worst either. That thing's actually pretty healthy. And this thing here is also pretty healthy. So I guess the van is probably the lowest health one that I saw there. So let's jump into that. So you can see at the very top corner, or well, the very top of the screen, you can see the gears, you can see the lights, you can see the angle and stuff, and speed that you're carrying. But you'll also see three icons: the engine, the traction, and the steering. Those are pretty much the health of your vehicle. And every now and then you can go through one of these service stations and get your car repaired. It can be quite expensive though. Whenever your car is getting towards the lower end of health and you drive through one of these, it costs quite a lot. Like, I think the highest I've had it cost me so far is 55,000 credits. So yeah, it's one of those things that can catch you out. And the other thing about it as well is that if you don't have enough credits to cover the cost of the service, it'll actually bring your cash total into the negatives, which is interesting. It won't let you buy cars and bring yourself into the negatives, but it will let you service your car and bring yourself into the negatives, which I think is an interesting system. I guess it's because like it's more difficult to earn credits if your car is damaged. I haven't noticed a massive difference myself between like a really badly damaged car and a not badly damaged car, but I'm sure it's in the game for a reason. Like, yeah, I'm sure it does something to repair your vehicle. So if I just drive through this now, that cost me 21,000 credits, and that brought all my vehicle's healths up to 99. So that means this thing is now full health and ready to be used. And actually, there is a box, which notice in the corner of my eye. Yep, that one there gave me some fans, so that's a nice little bonus to have there as well. I have noticed a lot of these here seem to be around petrol stations. So that's an interesting little thing that they seem to do in this game. Like areas which you're going to anyway, and they seem to put those little daily boxes in. And speaking of daily boxes, there's one last thing I'm going to talk about, and that is the green sort of gift icons. The green gift icons are pretty much a free gift after each weekend on the game. They give you about 25,000 credits, about 5,000 likes, and I think about 1,000 fans. It's a pretty handy thing to pick up. There's no reason not to. It's literally a green icon in the shape of a present. It seems to spawn in a bunch of different places on the map. The first one I ever found was the very bottom of the map, next to that purple service icon. The next one I found was actually in the beginners area, in the very, well, sort of middle left, well, the far left of the screen, but in the middle area, roughly where that red triangle is at the moment. That was where my second one was, and I haven't had a third one yet, so I'll be curious to see where that one spawns. But they're pretty handy to pick up, and there's no reason not to, pretty much. You may as well get the extra credits, because, I mean, resources aren't exactly free in this game. They are kind of scarce, and I kind of like that to an extent, because it gives you something to go for. I think they could probably be about 20% more generous as far as your earning goes in the game, but the way it is now works at the moment. But I'm going to leave this video off here. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I hope you have a good one.